Hello and welcome to the Who the Fuck is in the Mirror podcast. I'm Angela Spooner, your host, emotional intelligence guide, trauma-informed coach, yoga instructor, confident, badass single mom of 3 amazing children, and founder of Unabashedly You. This podcast is all about using books, analogies, and metaphors to dive deep into who you really are to yourselves, not just as parents or some fictional version others made you out to be, right? But who the fuck you are. I want you to find your confidently badass, secure version of you that you lost along the way, or maybe you never even had in the first place because you were busy with everyone and everything else. Does that sound about right? So how about we get into the science of why we are a bunch of fucked up individuals who look in the mirror and don't even recognize the person that's staring back. Join me in the best journey you'll ever experience. Why, you may ask? Because it is the journey to transform your self-doubt, insecurity, and overall dysfunctional brain into self-aware, badass confidence and understanding. I hope you're as excited as I am because I cannot wait to get into this.
Welcome to the carnival. Welcome to the carnival.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Who the Fuck is in the Mirror? I love saying that. It just makes me so warm and cuddly inside, which is probably like a trauma response. It's fine. Anyways, so this week I had to do things a little differently. I didn't have to because I'm a grown woman, but I wanted to because I fucking moved this week and I was tired as shit. And I don't like doing a podcast over a chapter that I don't dissect because I'm subpar at best, right? So I decided this is my fucking podcast and I can do whatever I want because I'm a big girl. So, scene, bitchin' intermission. So I just came up with this and I am in love. Okay. So this is going to be every few weeks. It's called bitchin' intermission. So it's like an intermission, but it's like your inner mission. Get it? Ha, ha. Picking up what I'm putting down there. So this week, I am going to have my wonderful friend, Tammy, who we met by divine intervention, aka Christy Lee. And she introduced us, and we have just vibed from day one, like straight out the womb, just boom, boom, boom. And I decided on a call to her, I said, fuck this. We're doing a podcast together. So we have her on here. You want to go ahead and say, hey.
Hey.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, girl.
How you doing?
How you doing? I am so excited. This is so awesome. I love this.
I love this. I love us.
So do I. I love us. This was I just fucking love it. I love it. Ooh, wait a minute. Can I drop this bomb?
It's in the name of the podcast.
Oh yeah, duh. See,
You've listened to my podcast.
You know what? That doesn't matter. You already know. We live in the world. So I'm going to even put it out there. We live in the world of our businesses. We
Right.
do. Yeah. We have families. You know what I mean? We have families. We build friendships. We have classes. We have podcasts. We have courses. We have all of these different things going on that you know what I mean? Like listening to your podcast is my bedtime thing. Like I pop my headphones on and I listen to the podcast in bed.
She sleeps naked. I'm just kidding.
Right. And like I get the whole vibe set up. I don't know about y'all though. Hey man, self-care is self-love, self-love is self-care. So I like to get a good comfy. But yeah, so
Comfy, cozy in the moment.
right.
So we were talking, guys, and we were guys, gals, all y'all, and we were talking about what we were going to talk about. We literally were just, I was like, let's do it. And then I was like, but wait, we have to actually like have a mission, right? Like, this is your mission if you choose to accept it. And we're like, all right. So our mission is going to be talking to you guys a little bit about our perception of things back in our fucked up years versus our perception of things now, which is so crazy because she literally had this epiphany at the exact same moment that I had it. That that my friends is literally why I do what the fuck I do, because things happen as they should, when they should, how they should, for who they should. So you accept it. And the more you accept, the more you grow, the more you show, the more you grow, the more you show. It just keeps going round and round. You know what I'm talking about? I'm on a fucking vibe today, guys. I will tell you what.
I am totally
Anyway,
feeling this vibe. Let me tell you, because guys, it was crazy. We were both, we're looking, talking, we're vibing, we're everything. And then all of a sudden, I was like, you know what? And before I could even say it, she looks at me and she's like, did you just think what I just thought? And I was like, I had a feeling I did. And then I started telling her, and she's like, really? What? What? So, like, you know what? Divine intervention. And this, I'm right there with you, man. This is why I do what I do. It's these
yes,
beautiful moments where it's like, boom,
connection.
in his face.
Yeah, it's the connections, the vibe, the everything. It's just like, oh my gosh, I never thought this would be me. I always thought like that would be so badass. That would be so badass to have my own business. That would be so badass to have my own booth at like a fair or some convention or event, right? I always thought these things. I would love a podcast to be able to just share all my awesomeness. And guess what? The beauty is when you start doing this work and you put in that fucking effort, you go from ground zero to ground hero of your own life. Okay. And I didn't even write any of this down. I mean, you guys should take notes on all this awesomeness. I'm just saying.
Ooh, I got my note cards.
Well, Mel, you guys
Put those
know
note cards down. Put those note cards down. You're talking to. No, but like I'm feeling you and I totally agree. Like when I first started, like I actually, I started when I went to college. I went to college to actually go for psychology. And then my late father had the conversation with me about like, well, psychology is cool, but it's a long time, da da da. I ended up going to Florida, working at Disney, came back and got my degree in culinary arts. And then now look where I am and what
right.
I'm
And
doing.
I have my, nursing degree. I have my nursing degree. I had a whole different path I was going to do. But it's crazy, guys. When you start on this journey, you're going to get this feeling of like uncertainty and just let it fucking land. Let it sit with you, because what your body is doing is all those brain waves, all those neural pathways are trying to stay on the same path, right? So it's a long journey of I shouldn't be doing this, I shouldn't be saying this. And when you can actually sit in those moments, become more self-aware, be more mindful, be more forgiving of and gentle with your own self, you can sit there. Literally yesterday, I was sitting there and I was so upset because I moved yesterday, guys, like officially moved. So woo woo, go for me. Go for me. Vote for Angela. But I was sitting there and I was just thinking about all these things I had to do, right? And normally what I'd do is I'd have a whole meltdown, right? And I would just say, fuck this, I'm going to throw everything away. And I was working by myself. I was so tired. And then it hit me. I sat there and I said, but we're not doing that anymore, Angela. We're not going down that pit. Yes, it fucking sucks right now. Yes, you're doing all the things right now and it can be overwhelming. Overwhelming. I'm going to be in an event. I fucking did a 6-week program launch last week. I'm moving. I have my podcast. I have my app launching. I have so many things going. But here's the difference from me before, when I would be overwhelmed and anxious the entire time, to now. This is what happened. I sat there and I said, actually, I'm going to be fine. Actually, this is going to be okay. What is the worst case scenario? That's what I said. And I said, when this is over, because it's going to be eventually, one way or another, you are getting out of this house. And I said, I just have to accept that this is happening, that it is going to happen, speak it into existence, know that somehow, some way it is going to form. It's going to form, right? Let me tell you, 30 minutes later, I had these people from my parents' church just show up. He called me about something completely off topic. He said, how many people do you have over there helping you? He said, let me talk to my wife. I'm like, I don't even know what he's talking about. Gets off the phone, shows up with his wife, cleans my, like, it just starts getting to work, cleaned my stove, like, looked brand new, brand new. This guy was on it for hours. And then a friend of mine sent a person over that cleans houses and offered, like, hey, I'm just going to pay for this person to come over there because I just want to do this for you. And I was like, holy shit. And then my parents called and they came over and then they brought my kids over. Literally went from zero help to so many people and we got it done. And I just sat there and I took that in and I said, this is why I do what I do, because it seems unbearable. It seems so catastrophic in the moment. But when you can accept that shit just happens sometimes and you just go with the flow, my kids started getting grumpy. And instead of yelling at them, I was like, let me take a breath and let me just talk to them calmly and be like, what do we have to do to fix this? And they got calmer because they heard my voice get calmer. And the old me would have sat there and just like, I have so much, just going off on them and veins popping out everywhere, looking like the Hulk. And it was the most stressful. Anything was stressful. Going to the store was stressful. Getting out of bed was stressful. And now I can just like, wow, I have all these things going on and I'm literally getting compliments left and right that I look so incredibly happy and I feel it inside. It's not an exterior thing. It is inside and I know I'm busy, but I'm okay. I'm safe. I'm loved. I love myself. I love the life that I'm building for me and my kids. And my kids are watching me build the most beautiful business I could have ever imagined. And I'm succeeding. I'm getting clients. It is beautiful. And with that, I'm going to have Tammy tell some of her experience.
Oh my goodness, Andrew, I
Cracking
freaking
up.
love that.
Like I just threw it in there. I'm all, and scene. Go.
And see, dude,
Intermission.
I freaking love that. And I really do love it because when we look back, so I look back, okay, from before I started to when I started, my story. I started my business on $10. $10 we were making. I'm looking at one right now. The custom macrame plant hangers, which we still do. And I was doing bath soak. And, when we first started and all the different things came in, so the Reiki, and then so for those of you in Angie's show that don't know, I got into a car accident and a woman hit me out of nowhere and sent me for a whirlwind. Well, in my experience of sitting with my leg crushed, I I was off my leg for 8 weeks. I had just started my business page when that 3 days before that I did. And so like I've been just going through this process. I am a accredited training provider. I am a meditation master coach, a shamanic energy healer, and a trauma informed forgiveness life coach. And I'm also a self love, self discovery speaker. And I speak on living in your own human revolution. And so that's what I help people achieve, my students to my clients. And guess what? Let me tell you my reaction. And this is what was so beautiful. Ange and I had the same thing that we were like, man, my reaction before would have been so fucked up. Like for real, for real, for real. Like in my experience. So I've actually been moving myself from my virtual closet to in person. And I did meditations, did the free meditations. And that's actually like Christy Lee gave to it. And then she's like, hey, Angela's coming. Angela Spooner is coming. And I was like, oh, I think I know that name. I think I've met her. I don't know. And hey, Sierra Vista does this to you. But we were talking about it. And so I did an in-person meditation, my very first one, and there was 4 people. So I had to fix myself with that and it made me reflect. Reflection. Uh, because before I would have freaked out and had a total pineapple moment where I would be like, fuck this. I need a real job. I'm fucking imposter syndrome would have kicked in. This is bullshit. But my reaction was so different this time. There was 4 people, but there was beautiful experiences in those 4 people. I had one person that had a moment of revelation. And talked about it. And then I had one person that was like, the way that you described this river and the leaves, I found myself in the forest. And then I explained to him, he said it was weird, but it was cool. I said, I love those moments. And he's like, has that ever happened to you? And then I told him, I said, dude, when I was in rehab. So I went to a holistic rehab, folks. And when I was in rehab, Yoga Man Dwayne, who blew my mind with the statement of, to love oneself is the beginning of a lifelong romance, Oscar Wilde. But that first experience doing meditation, and I was like, afterwards, I was like, Yoga Man Dwayne, I had this weird moment. And I told the gentleman all about that moment that I had. And I was like, dude, I don't think I want to meditate again. And he's like, but that's where the power is. Let me tell you, 8 years later, here I am like, ooh, meditate. But I really, dude, I think I just had a pineapple moment where I was talking to you about the pineapple moment where I was like, fuck this, fuck this.
Can you explain? Can you explain to my listeners what that is?
Oh my goodness. So pineapple is me and Ange's safe word. So when we are having a moment, because guess what, guys? My favorite thing to always say, and I will stand by this for the rest of my life is life and people are people. So life is going to life you no matter what the fuck you do. Life is going to life you. It is your reaction to life lifing you that is going to make your life better. People are going to be people. So guess what? When I love me, let me tell you, I love me some Tammy, but when I love me, I'm not worried about what Billy, Ted, and Regina are.
Becky with the hair. My
Yeah, like
Becky with the hair.
right? Becky with good hair. No, but so Ange and I, because doing this work, sometimes you can have a set in of imposter syndrome. We decided because, like Ange told you, we clicked it, like clicked. We ended up talking for like an hour and a half. And normally I don't even spend an hour and a half on the phone with people.
And I was walking around with my kids inside Target, guys. The last thing you want to fucking do is sit there on the phone with somebody while your kids are running rampant through the streets of Target, the streets of Target. That's a whole new world.
It can be the streets. It can be the streets of Target sometimes.
Exactly. See, you get it. You're picking up what I'm putting down. And we were just like, like, mom. And I'm just sitting there like chatting away with her. We've been best friends our entire life type of thing. And it was just like so surreal. And literally this earlier today, I was like, oh my God, like, how am I going to do this podcast? Like, I have so much going on. I have so many responsibilities. I still have to get all my stuff ready for my booth for my mompreneurs. I have my clients that I have to get. Like, I'm literally thinking of all the stuff and all the things. And you know what? I sat there and I said, I actually want to do a different kind of podcast, right? And I don't want it to be this structured, fucking boring shit. Because who watches a Hallmark movie and says that was the best movie I've ever seen? You have never said that. Nobody, I don't care who you are, you'll never say that. You know why? Because
You'll never say it. You'll never say it.
right. You literally know the ending as you're watching it. In the first 2 minutes, you know what's going to happen in the end. Nobody likes that shit. You know what they like? They like drama. They like chaos. They like Game of Thrones, which, I mean, brother and sister, I feel like that was a little far. That was a
little far. I feel like
far.
you did go a little bit too far, but it was good.
Exactly. It was good. And guess what? We all bid because we wanted to watch another episode. That is the point of my fucking podcast. It is not to sit there and be like, that was a good ending. It's to sit there and be like, what are we going to learn next week? What are we going to do, Angela? And I was writing down some things and I said, I want to reflect and appreciate the fucking badassness of my true self in real life, in real time. And then I called Tammy to tell her. And while we were vibing, I was like, I just had an epiphany. We need to do one right here, right now. Are you good with this? And she was like, you already know. I was like, I know. That's why I called you and said, yes, let's do this. I voluntold her. And I was like, no, this needs to happen. She wouldn't have been able to say no to me. I would have just kept sending a Zoom link. And again, I'm all, how about now? You want to go now? How about now? Like that boyfriend that you just want to go away, or that girlfriend that you're like, God, go away. That was going to be me. Mm-hmm. Hey, sexy ladies. That's right, all you moms. I know life can get really hard. It's so hard to validate yourself. It's so hard. You're always looking for somebody else to validate you. It's hard to have confidence, normal conversations. Your brain feels all cloudy. You don't feel sexy in your own skin. I know. I've been there. But guess what? The Tuesday after Mother's Day, May 14th, I am having a 6-week challenge to prioritize you. Not your kids, not Becky with the hair, not Susie down the street, not your significant other. This is for you, to help you. I am launching it out. I am still accepting applications. because I really, truly believe that this can help you. If you want to make big changes in your life and reclaim your confidence, sass, sexiness, everything. If you want to work on you in order to be a better person for yourself, if you are tired of having everybody else needing to validate you in order to feel okay, I have this for you. Believe me when I say it will change your life. So if you want to make those changes, send me a message. I am waiting for you.
Well,
You
the
would have
funny
forgiven me.
part is when I looked at my phone, I was like, is Ange calling me from Snap?
She literally said, as she picked up, she was like, "Did you just call me?" I was like, "Yes, but also I have more."
But dude, it's just like it's a fucking vibe, man. It's a vibe to change your thought process, to think different, to feel different. Right now, like, so last year at this time, I was in a space of like, oh, I'm not doing much or anything like that. But I kept on telling myself, I'm going to get where I want to get to. So
Yeah.
even when I went through all of this stuff, and you know, because you go through it too, where we're like, it was in the beginning. You know what? I'm not sure how it's going to go, but I'm going to do it. And people tell you, and I'll be honest, like I just did a TikTok about this where people say like, oh, believe in yourself, believe in yourself, believe in yourself. And my number one question was, how the fuck do you do that? Like, how do you do that? What especially
I literally fucking said that to my clients when I was talking to when I was talking to my possible clients and clients now, that is the one thing. I sat there and I said the exact same thing. That is so unreal. Plus, I'm like, I'm not here to fucking validate you.
nope.
I'm here to teach you how to fucking validate yourself.
Right. And you know what? I just
You
think that
are
I
the
had an
content.
epiphany.
And what do you do after a program? What do you do after a program? Anybody will tell you that has been on any of these challenges for working out, diets. Everybody knows them because everybody's done all of them, right? After it's done, you're like, what the fuck do I do now? That is
I
why
tell my
I teach
clients, like,
what I
legit. See, exactly. I'll tell you something that I do with my clients, and I will be open and honest with every single client. I tell them the same thing.
Yeah.
After 3 months, I don't want you to need me. Like legit. So some people will be like, oh, well, my client's with me for a year, da da da. Hey, there ain't nothing wrong with that. There ain't nothing wrong with being with anybody for a year. You know what? I've been with my therapist for a year and a half. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. But I will tell you this. I tell my clients, I don't want you to need me. What I want to do is I want to show you how to do it for yourself,
how to need yourself.
how to need you. That's what I want. I want you to need you and love you so that you can move forward in your life and enjoy your life. My purpose is to help people achieve and live in their own human revolution. And you know what I mean? Like people think I'm a dick because I say flat out, you can't love nobody else if you don't love yourself.
Yes.
And guess what? And I ended up having a chick try to bust me on that one. And I was like, oh, so how do you pour from an empty cup?
Right.
And she was like, oh, wait a minute. I was like,
So I remember telling somebody what was it, a couple months ago. They were like, so is your glass half empty or is it half full? I was like, why does it fucking matter? They're like, well, half empty is the negative. I was like, it's only the negative if you choose to make it the negative. Every situation in your life, you get to choose if that is going to be a negative or a positive. Here's the thing. Half full means you're halfway there, but you're not there, girl. Keep on going. Half empty means we got to fill that fucking cup, right? Or we got to make what we have in that cup last a lifetime. It's possible. Is it hard? Yes. Is it
It's
fucking
hard as
worth
hell.
it? Let me ask you a question, Tammy. Is it hard?
It is. It's hard. I'm not gonna fucking lie. It is. It is hard, but it's worth it.
But is it? See, why you got to take? You were supposed to just answer the question.
See, well, let me start again. Let's start
Okay,
again.
let's start
Ask me
again. Let's start again. Tammy,
Yes.
is it fucking hard?
It's fucking hard, man.
Fucking hard. But are you fucking worth it?
Dude, hell to the yeah, I am worth it.
That's so
I
much
am
better.
worth it. And let me tell you, when I think about the cup being half empty, what the cup half empty to me tells me, oh boo, you need to do some self-love. You need to do some self-care. And remember, folks, self-care is self-love, and self-love is self-care.
Yes.
So that loving on you is important. You know what
And
I
a glass
mean?
half empty is still a glass with some shit in it. It's
Right?
still possible.
Yes, you can fill that cup back up. You can.
Why'd you sound like that guy? My passion.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Maybe I need some water.
Oh, stop it.
Ooh, I've been recording meditations all day. So I've been like, meditations.
How'd that go?
No. Dude, but it's so worth it. It's so fun. Like, and I have to tell you, this is the coolest shit ever. Yesterday, I did a post because I was like, hey, where's RLP going to be? So, RLP Holistic Wellness,
I like
folks,
that.
is where is RLP going to be? And the funniest thing is, my husband is a Waldo. And I was typing it up. So, like, because now that I'm virtual and in person, so I was typing it up and putting it in there. And I started looking and I was like, wow, wow. Wait a minute. So, like, I'm going to be at an event. I was invited to be a vendor at the Washington County Mental Health Fair on Saturday in Maryland. So if any of your listeners are in Maryland, check out Washington County for the 4th. And I was like, wow, that's so awesome. And I was like, that's cool. And then I looked down and I was like, wait a minute. I have a meditation class coming up on that day. And then, oh, wait a minute. On the 5th, I've got this going. Oh, wait, what? Wait. mm, mm, mm. And I'm looking all over it. And I'm like, this is what I've been fighting for all these years. And here's the kicker, folks. I was stuck in this place of I was only going to stay virtual. And this is why I say that it's important to be open to the possibilities and to be
Anything.
open to suggestions.
Anything.
Because a cousin is the one that said, hey, have you ever thought about being in person? I'm like, no, I only want to be on virtual.
I
But
can't
then,
believe I'm saying anything like that.
dude, but it was that way for me because I was in that space where, when you're in the beginning of your, not even in the beginning, but when you're in your journey and you're stuck in that place of, I'm here and I want to be here, but I don't really know how to get here. Because let me tell you, you already know people think that we're crazy as all fucking get out.
Mm-hmm. But the thing is that our craziness, because we can hold every portion of ourselves, our craziness is actually our strength. Because when you can change your perception of all these things that you were told you are too much, you are too loud, you are too annoying, you are too rude, you are all these things. If you can turn it into a different perception for yourself, you are literally unfuckwithable, which is what I talk about in my app. I'm telling you, this shit works, okay? At the beginning, it's hard. Is it hard now? Fuck yes. But it is also easier because as you take those steps, you go from being this person that's like questioning your every move. But if you just take that first step, the more steps you take, the more you just go for it and you don't give a shit because you're like, I can hold myself. So when you have those moments at the beginning, when you're before you start like doing anything, when you first start doing these changes to try and move your life around, to change it around, to get better, to heal, when you're doing these things at the very beginning, it is not going to be easy. It is going to be so difficult, and you are going to constantly be correcting yourself, shaming yourself, blaming yourself. But that's why I do what I do, because after that period comes this new version 2.0 of yourself that you can sit there and be so unfuckwithable and so badass and proud of yourself, proud of who you are as you are right here, right now. What's that song? There's no other place I'd rather be. You know, I always like to sing.
We were in two different that I was thinking of that one song right here, right now, right here, right. You know what? Don't. Mm-mm.
You know, it's not even important. I digress. I digress, guys.
I digress.
I digress. I was literally looking in the mirror, and I'm like, who the fuck is in the mirror, right? So I literally, the song of Selena came in. I could fall, and I was pointing at myself, and I was like, in love with you. I even did the background singers like, I could fall in love with you. I'm like help me out here. I'm the whole entertainment. I can be all the scenes. When your kids try to do like, they're trying to show you like, oh, look, I saw this mom in this movie, and they're trying to like recreate it for you, right? And they try to do all the parts. That's how I feel sometimes, but it's like so amazing and so real because I can sit there and look at every situation as a learning experience and growing. And you are going to still mess up. I wasn't perfect while the kids and I were moving. I yelled at them plenty of times, but I also held it, and I also took ownership of it, apologized for it, moved forward with it, and said, fuck this. I'm healing. I don't have time to sit here and shame myself because I'm growing, and you can't grow when you're shaming.
And that right there is the truth. That is one thing that I say a lot is give yourself grace. And I tell myself that a lot because I'll be open with you. Like the other day, I went to the doctor's office. And when I came out the doctor's office, got in my vehicle and went to turn it on, everything was dead. But here is the kicker. So normally my reaction would have like been total meltdown. It wasn't that way. I just went in. I said, "Hey, do you guys like have any like a screw, like a wrench or something like that? So I can wiggle my battery." So I was outside with the hood up. A woman comes out and she goes, "Ooh, let me help you. I understand about car issues. We just got this car and da da da." She helped, tried to pump it up to get it to drive. Nothing, and it wouldn't work. And I told her, "Thank you." And she said, "Well, can I take you somewhere? Can we take you somewhere?" And I was like, "Well, I live down the street, like 10 minutes." And she's like, "Of course, let us take you." And then we had the like most amazing conversation. I get home and my husband's home, and so is my mom. And I was like, "Guys, I'm home. But let me tell you, like, don't freak out." So I'm home, but the car isn't. The SUV is still at my doctor's office. Told my neighbors about it, and they were like, "Hey, well, like," I asked the wife, I said, "Hey, is it like, do you think you could give me a ride later?" Da 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 da. And so she and I went, we charged up the vehicle. It wouldn't start, but the funny thing is, then her husband was like, ask Waldo if he wants to go. And so I asked Waldo, and so then they came. So we were all there, and then we got the car started. And so now the car's home, but my husband didn't freak out. My husband's someone that, like, he used to have major meltdowns too. Like, we were in that space. Hey, healing. Like, I like to tell people this, I am healing. I did not say I was healed, which, by the way, there is no, I'm just going to say it, there is no healed. It's a forever journey.
You're not like, oh, I'm good now. I don't need the moment that you sit there and say, I'm good. I don't want to think about the past. I don't want to think about what the fuck are you doing with your life? Because the only way to actually feel whole within yourself is to know that you will never be done healing, growing, showing, growing, all the things over and over, here, there, and everywhere. Right?
Right? Dude, right? My mind was blown when I took my shamanic rites. I noticed one thing, that I went through different, I was looking at just learning more. I like to learn more. I believe knowledge is power, not in the sense of I have the power over the world. No, but in but it's in the sense of I believe that it makes you a better person
Yeah.
and it makes you a better practitioner. It makes you softer on yourself, more compassionate, more loving, more empathetic. And I I went looking and I noticed that in all of these different cultures, the one thing that the shamans say is that a shaman is someone that is truly awakened to self. But in that awakening to self, they realize that there is more awakening to do.
I was just going to say, they realize that there's more discovery. There's
Yep.
more to discover.
And
Always.
that's where life is life and people are people came from. It
Yeah.
was after I had taken my shamanic rites that one day I was meditating and all of a sudden I was like, life is life.
Mhm.
Yeah, because life is going to do whatever the fuck it wants to. I'm not in control of what life is going to do. I can put out this vibration and raise my personal vibe by believing. Like, I believe that I can be the best person. My goal is to be the best person I can be, to be better than who I was yesterday. And
Yeah.
I believe that every day I wake up, I am going to work to be better than I was the day before.
I just got to add this in. I
Ah,
believe I can fly. I believe,
you can touch the sky
oh my God, it's like you're inside my head.
and you think about it every night and day.
I spread my wings and fly away. But
You believe you can soar.
stop it. I even of running through that open door. I believe
I can
I
fly.
I believe
I can fly. I believe you can fly.
I believe we can fly.
I believe we can fly with pineapples on our head.
Right. 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 So with that, guys, I just wanted to say we got to wrap things up here, but I want to end with this. Look, do not limit yourself. Do not limit your abilities. When I first started this out, everybody thought I was crazy. They're like, a podcast? Do you even have like a set thing? I'm a fucking grown ass woman. How about you don't tell me what to do? I mean, I wasn't actually like saying that to them, obviously, because they're just trying to help. But the difference is there are going to be people that are helping, quote unquote, and there's going to be people that are actually helpful. It's not about this person's wrong, this person's right. It's you take all the information that is available to you, and then you decipher what part of it suits you, suits who you are as an individual. You never lose sight of who you are, what you stand for, and you continuously watch. You have to watch who you were and who you are now, because even in your hardest moments, it is in those moments that you can look back and say, life is fucking hard, but I'm harder. And with that, Tammy and I are going to fucking peace out. Thank you so much for listening, guys. And I look forward to talking to you next week.
See you soon.